Hey guys, David here with Team 2 Shiny, here showing off a Nubatama deck profile. I've got 5th place at Continentals for USA. Here I'm with deck builder James Lewis and deck player Erich Wittenmyer. Here's the deck profile. Go ahead, guys.
Alright, we play 2 of the starter, Stealth Rogue of the Wintry Wind Kagumigusa. It's got Afterimage, which is what this build is based off of. Its GB skill is that when it's placed, I can make my opponent choose a card in their bind zone and put a drop. If a card is put there that way, I countercharge one. Next we'll do triggers. We run 4 of the Shiranui crit, because it goes in the soul, draws a card. It helps prep for skills later on. We run 4 generic crit.
The promo, high rarity.
Tobihiko, because the art is awesome.
$5.
Then we run Stealth Dragon Onibidoshi. It's the stand trigger that, when placed on rear, if you have less cards in your hand than your opponent, draw a card, goes back to deck, shuffle, and as you're shuffling, you give 3k to somewhere. And it also has Afterimage, which is really, really good.
Yeah, the Afterimage build is really insane.
And then we have our 4 heal triggers.
The little girl.
Best heal, not the drug dealer.
It's fine, I'm young, it doesn't matter.
Next, for our grade 1 lineup, we have 3 Stride Enabler.
Alright.
Well, because we want
Striding's nice, yeah.
Next, we have 4 G-Flip PG, because that countercharge is really, really important.
I heard living is pretty meta.
What's living? We have
there
SPs.
There are decks out there that I know that have that run the Afterimage PG. It's just my build lets me run this, and if you do run the Afterimage PG, you have to run 3 of the starter.
It has to be SP or else it doesn't resolve.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Next, instead of Fuki like most builds, I run a Stealth Rogue of the Mirrored Moon Subakuro.
How useful does this card come in?
I live like 90% of the time because this card is in my hand.
Using it against Gear Chronicle is useless, but otherwise it's pretty good.
It's a 10k shield. That's his only GB effect. Otherwise, it's an Afterimage, so you can proc Afterimage Rush on grade 2 turns.
Yeah.
And you can search it off of our next card, Chigire Gumo, who is for a Soul Blast and a Shiranui Vanguard. You look at top 3 for Afterimage.
Yeah.
So, but yes, Subakuro is a really good card because we live.
Yeah.
Half the times I played that grade 1, I failed to resolve.
Now, for some of you might think this is an odd ratio for my grade 2s, but I only run 3 Tamahagane. 3 might seem low to some people, because most people are used to him running at 4, but I still see him consistently enough, so I don't mind that ratio. Plus, I have more Afterimage in my grade 2 than other cards.
How consistent is your Afterimage grade 2 turn?
75%. There's like, only if I brick really, really hard do I not get the Afterimage turn.
When I played against Kagura round 1, I saw all 3 games as grade 2 ride.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still consistent. Next we run 3 Miyabi.
Oh.
I know, once again, it's not 4, but 3, because yes,
it doesn't have Afterimage.
It doesn't have Afterimage, but it's there for late game. You don't want to throw it on board early, because if you do, you're gonna lose a card you need, and the effect of it is really, really good of being boosted. Counterblast 1. If you have less cards in hand, it automatically gets +3 regardless, but until the end of that battle. But if you have less cards in hand, you bind a card at random from your opponent's hand, and that is really, really good. Especially if you use Shiranui's on stride.
Or if you get really lucky and hit the heal trigger, the proof card of their hand that they needed to live. And then they just die on the inside and on the outside.
Yeah.
I love a 3 to pass and double crit and heal.
Now for my Afterimage units in the grade 2 lineup, we're running the Glimmer Breath clone, Nibika Tabira.
How do they get to 3 to pass you? They don't have any cards in there.
It's Angel Feather.
Not
even kidding. That happened.
Okay. As awkward as it is to say, is that Nibika Tabira, I don't run him for his skill. If I have a chance of using a skill and I have to...
This little word right there.
We run him for Afterimage.
That little Afterimage thing, yeah, that Afterimage.
We run him for Afterimage. We don't run him for a skill because this deck requires Soul. Like, most decks require Soul. I also don't have Fuki to help supplement Soul issue. And I don't always want to resolve that crit to go into Soul.
You use
Yeah.
it with Miyabi when you have a 7K booster.
Yeah, like that too. Or you just use Miyabi skill.
Oh shit, that
Well,
makes
that's
columns
Save
lit.
Miyabi,
But,
along with SP Miyabi.
But yeah, like it's
insane.
it's a really good card.
It's also
just, I don't-
9k when you're swinging on the grade 2 turn.
Still
Yeah,
with the
it's just
9K.
I don't use its skill. Now a card I do use the skill of, and it actually has helped me in multiple games, is Stealth Dragon Hashiri. It has Afterimage, and most people, yes, the skill is subpar, but there have been games where I have that card and I don't have Miyabi. I'll play it and I have a bear in hand. I don't see the use of the bear because I want a card out of their hand. So I ditch bear in late game as cost for his skill, and I sometimes draw Miyabi or I draw the stand trigger.
That stand trigger's
It's
really good.
really, really good because sometimes it's a whiff
better
of
than
a
Revros.
draw card, but sometimes it's the card you need to make that final push.
I cycled it 3 times against Angel Feather.
Our grade 3 lineup is, as usual, we do Shiranui 4
Stealth Rogue with a Night Fate Miyabi.
because Shiranui is bonkers. He's also very, very amazing.
Hello.
On Stride is what makes him the best card in Nubatama.
Do it.
Our secondary grade 3, I run at 4, is
The best card in the deck.
the grade 3 Lion, Hagure Jishi. It gets +4 every time a unit with Afterimage is placed.
Zonda.
So, the highest I have gotten him is I've procced Afterimage 7 times in one turn. Because I have used Shigure Gumo.
That's
Stand
20
trigger.
stacks. Plus stand trigger's 3k. That's a
against the
little
Angel Feather
insane.
player, when I didn't
Yeah.
stride, I had a stand trigger in hand. That's it. I resolved the stand trigger and cycled it 3 times on top of him and made him a 33k.
That's why I
That
run
card's
him.
lit, especially when your opponent, like, if you could stride and you, like, go into Sukamorcon and then you just,
Well, it's
like,
the
make a
best when
big
they
ass fucking
griffin.
column, then you hit a stand trigger.
The other...
Middle of the drive up. Can you move your car forward so I can park?
Yeah, we got just a second.
Uh,
We're almost done.
Editing skills.
The other reason I play it is because that +4 or the stacks it gets makes it where it doesn't matter if they hit triggers, because usually your turn can die if they hit triggers and they're able to guard you. If you make it to the point where, oh, they can't guard me, cool, done. Next is the stride deck.
Show the receivers.
We run 4 Ataka Lord because he's usually the kill card if they have 6 or less cards in hand.
Yeah?
If they have now, there are games where I've been like, or I've misplayed badly, or I wanted to kill them and I banked on Toggle Lord. It didn't help, and it didn't work. So that's where the second card comes in because you just guarantee win by putting them down to 3 cards in hand. Sukamorgan.
Sukamorcon's insane. You're like, hey, here you go. You can keep 4 cards in your hand. And you're like, oh yeah, sure, Nui. Fuck you.
I heard Angel
Exactly.
Feather's pretty good.
So
Then you attack 3 times and you're like, well, I don't have 3 ditch spotters
No,
for
that's
these
when you
perfect
double
cards.
Miyabi and give him negative cards.
Yeah, you're right.
Sukamorgan though is we only run him at 2 because his cost is high, but you only ever need him twice. If you need him more times, then
That's at most you'll ever use them twice in a game. At
Yeah.
most.
I will solve.
now this next choice, as far as strides go, is based purely because of my locals.
This card's insane, actually. I don't care if it's
4
locals or not.
For Gedasuraken.
This card says you lose a card no matter what. You'll either lose 2 cards or you'll lose a card and take a damage.
Or they G guard like gods.
They're not going to G-guard and win.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's just on hit discard.
On hit ditch.
And the reason why it's at 4 is in my locals I have Wind Choker, and there are times where I'm locked down because of Chaos Breaker. There's also Pale Moon, or decks I just don't want to spend resources, so I just vanilla stride him and solo them. There's also Mega Colony, Obertrondis. This card is probably the best solo Vanguard card in this deck.
Because it can single-handedly get rid of your opponent.
Because they're going to PG it, guard it, or eat it. Either way, they're losing 1 or more cards.
That's a
Seems
guarantee
the
loss
best
of a card right there.
Now, I play 1 Gonrokin
I resolved it once.
because
That's why you play 1.
it's because I don't see the point of it having it at 2. It's because in the current format, I don't see anybody playing things that just automatically build board and keep board unless it's like Nova Grapplers, maybe Royal Paladin. But very rarely doesn't matter because they're also just going to do stuff to say no, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's a good one of. Like, if they have the board to do it, cool. Like, if you're sitting on Hagure Jishi and they have a board or at least 4 cards on board, you're just like, cool, bind 2 of them. I still proc Afterimage because you had enough of a board where I could be like, yeah. We also run 1 Zarame the on hit of, hey, I bind a card from your hand, and then the skill of if you have 3 more Afterimage units, it just dies. It just dies. It's a non-hit, so they'll likely guard it. But if you just don't have Shiranui or you don't have Miyabi,
It binds off the field or off the hand?
Hand.
Hand? Oh, that's
Do
insane.
you choose? No.
No.
Is that at random?
Choose at random.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. Wait, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you choose a card from your opponent's hand at random.
No,
Yeah,
I was thinking
like,
before we had good
it's-
cards.
Great.
It's good. It's just I run Gadasurakin over him because it's a guaranteed ditch, and usually I have Miyabi or Shiranui. And also the thing with the starter, it's a May activate skill. You can play it without activating that skill.
Yeah, there's a May in the
So
start clause.
you can go in a if you don't have any actual play and you just want to have a board to say I'm gonna punch you, sure. Gadasurakin, Shiranui's on stride. You call starter, but you do not activate skill. And
Yeah,
you're
that
just
way you
like,
get
punch.
that's where you get everything back into your hand with Afterimage because you need something bound to proc Afterimage.
Yeah. We play 1 Sea Breeze.
Because you're a
for-
G deck.
Yeah, G deck. We want to be able to
You
stride.
should run 2.
I would run 2 G assist away 1 and then say, oh, you're gonna bitch game me now. Fair.
But
Or you should
we
flip it
run
over
one
to
Sea
zero.
Breeze because it's a G deck. We
Good
Spark.
deck.
Now we'll get to G guards. We run 1 Dismal because
Dismal's a
V
go.
max is
the deck is Afterimage based, so you would expect to only actually play it once, and you only
Yeah,
use
you-
it to really
You protect
Miyabi.
the Miyabi because Miyabi's insane.
Because you only need Miyabi to be left alone for 1 more turn, and then by that time you'll see the others, or if not, this deck has ways of just aggroing out everybody else for the end.
insane.
So you don't always have to rely on Miyabi with
Yeah.
this deck.
Easy.
And lastly, we have 2 of the Nubatama G Guard. This card, despite its thing, I have tried running Screw in the deck. I
But
just
you kept
can't.
getting screwed.
I just can't do it because I have to ditch something I don't want to ditch. Every single
Yeah,
time.
you have 7 cards in your hand usually with the Afterimage build because it's like, what are you gonna ditch? One of your 7 cards that you need to guard? When Gear
Or-
Chronicles being like, hey, I'm gonna swing you 7 fucking times. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and this
60
card
for Blake,
it's
and
an
he lives.
immediate plus 5k shield if the opponent only has 6 or less cards. I've encountered so many people that think I have to have less cards in hand than them. I'm like, no, you have
Oh
to
no,
have
that card's
6 or less
insane.
cards.
This card just says, hey, you haven't drove checked yet. Go die in a hole. You're not hitting.
Or hey, you drove check, but you're only sitting at 6 cards in hand. Cool, I still get the 3k.
yeah.
That or the plus 5k. That's what matters. And the card, yes, most people can run it at 1 or 3. I run it at 2, and I only run 3 G guards because I don't see.
You're only
deck
gonna
is-
resolve probably 3 a game anyway at most because like you're gonna damage a heal. You're not gonna see them all in hand.
Yeah, and if you do, you do. It doesn't matter. This deck is built
You're
for
basically
pure aggression.
winning the game anyway.
Yeah, this deck is pure aggression.
You sit there and win.
Like,
It's autopilot.
I would say I
It's
know
not
of a
autopilot.
build that's pure hand control, but mine is a hand control through aggression, which is in its own way interesting.
Yeah.
But this is my Nubatama deck build that my friend Eric took to Continentals.
Mr. Wittenmyer
Ah!
I took 5th.
took 5th in Continentals.
I
Took
wanna die.
1st in Atlanta Regionals for World Qualifier. This is Team 2 Shiny with the Nubatama deck profile. This is James, the deck builder. Have a great day, guys.